Yo, welcome to another episode of EmpireJeff TV. I am your host, EmpireJeff, coming to you on a Wednesday night live from Los Angeles, California. What's up, everybody? It's been about 2 weeks since my last live. Good Lord, that's a long time for a YouTube/Twitter/whatever live stream break. Happy to be back. Sorry I've been gone. Your boy had a lot going on these last couple of weeks, so had some time tonight. Wanted to pull up, spend a little time with the chat, kick it with you guys, and get, no more of these kind of short clips that I've been doing the last few weeks to fill in the time. We are here now. Hope everyone's doing well. And we're going to talk about the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight on their 3-3 road trip, coming home after going to New York to face the Mets. 3 in New York, 3 in Cleveland. Come home 3-3. 500 road trip. It's acceptable, but it's really not what you want from a team with championship aspirations. You really want to come home on this 4-2-5-1. Dodgers had their chances. The New York series felt like they won the game they tried to give away and lost the games they probably should have won. It was just weird dynamic in New York. And then, they get to Cleveland, and the Cleveland situation was looking great. Thought they was about to sweep. Thought they had it. They did have it. Did have it. Led 4-1. And then the pen, once again, kind of fell apart on them. And we're going to touch on that because I know if I haven't had to be in here long to probably figure out that there's probably a bunch of panicking, a bunch of turning on the players, a bunch of get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy, get rid of this guy, fire this guy. It's Los Angeles, man. It comes with the territory, you heard. But pretty much aside from that, there's a lot of things that kind of lead into this. And I'm pretty sure that, the usual suspects right now, Dave Roberts, Max Muncy, Chris Taylor's gone, Austin Barnes is gone. Those guys, the whipping boys are gone. So that blame pie is going to be moved around to other people around the diamond, right? So Muncy, Roberts, you're going to definitely have Tanner Scott in there. Vesia is going to kind of get a pass from me today. I'm kind of cool with what he done. He faced the media. He's been pretty steady. But Tanner Scott's on a little bit of a slippage here, man, a little bit of a rut. Had about 8 straight dominant innings, performances, coming into that Arizona game where he gave up the tying home run to Moreno. Then he went in and gave up another home run to Corbin Carroll the next inning. Dodgers had to rally to come back to win that game. He comes back the next game, shuts him down, and had an issue, in New York versus the Mets. And now here we are in game 3, Cleveland, and it has happened again. So Tanner Scott, probably a little bit of in his own head, probably a little bit of adjusting to kind of new philosophies within the Dodgers. He doesn't seem to be throwing a lot of his chase pitches as much. He's in the zone a lot more. He's throwing his heat a little bit more inside, challenging hitters as opposed to trying to get the chase. Those type of things will lead to contact, and those type of things will lead to errors if you've got guys in the field that aren't or typically don't have the best gloves. Today's game was interesting because you had a lefty batter versus a lefty hitter with the infield shifted to pull, and he throws an away pitch where if the guy makes contact, the ball's going to go away. You got to come inside on him, right? So now there's a couple of things that can happen with that. It could be that he did attempt to come inside and missed his target, or he just thought he couldn't hit the ball away. There's a lot of things. He threw it there. The guy hit it. It's kind of one of those balls that kind of found its way to where it wanted to go once he couldn't get to it and to do anything with it. And pretty much they get out of the inning probably if that play doesn't happen. And Dodgers get the loss. They had a 4-1 lead. They lose 7-4. Sucks to have that loss on the way heading back to L.A., but no rest for the weary, man. You get the day off tomorrow. Then you got the New York Yankees, the rematch of the 2024 World Series coming into Dodger Stadium Friday, Saturday, Sunday, followed by the New York Mets, who just took 2 or 3 in their building against you this past weekend. So Dodgers got to get back on track. Dodgers got to stay locked in. They've got to go in. They got to go after it, and they got to have their best stuff. The Mets, the Yankees are going to fest Gosselin, Landon Knack, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto on Sunday night. And then we go into the Mets series. So, it's a weird thing in the National League West, man. It's a real weird thing. We're going to touch on this. The National League West is its own kind of different beast and animal. The things they got going on in that division are wild. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of funny at the same time. But it's a really weird, very talented, very good, very deep, but a very weird division with what they've got going on here. And the Dodgers still with the first place lead. They've had the first place lead for a few weeks. The way things are going, they're going to have it for a little bit, right? This Dodger team is going to be okay. They're going to be fine. Once they get guys back, once they get guys healthy, once the arms are back to counteract and help when the bats go silent to keep those leads or if they're trailing someone to keep those tighter games, then give the Dodgers bats a chance to do damage when you got the arms there to suppress the other team. Like I said, right now you got end of rotation guys or 6th or 7th guys being top of rotation guys, and Gosselin, Landon Knack, Dustin May. These guys are not front of the rotation type of guys. They're just not. It's no shade to them. They for the most part, they haven't been terrible. Some of them have been great at times. Landon Knack's last performance was a quality start in New York. He gave us a chance to win. Dodgers bats just simply couldn't get going. But when you don't have Tyler Glasnow, when you don't have Blake Snell, when you don't have Roki Sasaki, when you don't have Shohei Ohtani, when you don't have a lot of these guys you're going to be counting on this season to help the innings with these other guys, when you don't have those guys and you got to throw these other guys out there, and then the bats have to be overutilized here. But most importantly, the pen is pretty much spent. They're drained. They've gone to the well too much, and there's really nothing they could do about it. They had no other option, really. With the kind of guys they had out there as starters. Now Kershaw has come back and he's had some pretty decent outings since he's come back, outside of maybe his first one. But his game in New York prior to the rain delay, solid. Today he was solid. Kershaw has not been bad. Now it's not a guy, I don't know how sustainable this could be. I don't know how long in the season they're going to go with him or how long he will last. I'm not even convinced that if healthy, he'll make a postseason roster. However, his last couple starts, he's done his job. The pen, and then when the bats go silent, this has been the problem. Like, the bat's not even really giving Yoshinobu Yamamoto the support he deserves. Like, the fact that he's out here just shoving and just pitching gems, dealing, and he doesn't have like one of these games where the Dodgers offense lights him up for 8 and Yamamoto's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get out of here in a few innings. He's actually gone deep in some of these games just to give the Dodgers a chance to win. So again, I will say, even with all these trials and tribulations that this baseball team has faced, they're still in first place. They're still up there with the best record in baseball. They're still up there with a high differential. They've got a lot of things going for them, even though they've got a lot of things going against them, and that being health and some bad luck situations. So, Tommy Edman has got to get back in his groove. you have to think about this. When the Dodgers were winning out the gate, it was pretty much offense, comeback wins at home, right? The Dodgers have been fairly dominant at home, and they've been, above average on the road. So when you all that considering all the people out, you take this 10 times out of 10. Where the Dodgers are at right now, plenty of other teams would kill to be at, right? Shohei Ohtani having a mega season once again, 20 home runs already. That's nuts, right? Freddie's been ballistic all season. Teo's been strong. Mookie's been up and down, but I trust Mookie. He's playing at a Gold Glove level shortstop right now. As he's figuring that out, his bat is above serviceable. He's doing a great job. He's going to continue to get better. Once Mookie fully settles in, I think he's going to have a second half that's going to really help carry this ball club to an extension of a division lead here and eventually the best record in baseball. I still believe that even with all the injuries, even with all the setbacks, even with all that, I still believe the Dodgers will end up with the best record in Major League Baseball when it is all said and done. And I'm still waiting for that month. Maybe it's August this year. I'm still waiting for that month where it feels like the Dodgers don't lose a game. I think they're going to go on a tear. I've said this numerous times. I believe that. I think that's a chance something can happen there, and where they just get uber hot and just go ballistic and just mop up the rest of the league. Definitely think that is possible. But appreciate y'all for tuning in. Once again, I'm EmpireJeff. This is EmpireJeff TV. Drop a like on the video if you're just coming in here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new or if you've been here and have yet to subscribe. Greatly appreciate you guys. Make sure to get your MLB, NBA, NFL gear, and more. Make sure to use our link at Fanatics to get special discounts, and your purchase also helps support the channel. So we partnered with the good people at Fanatics. So when you order through them via us, they take care of us because we sent you that way. Great way to get the gear you're originally going to get anyway while helping take care of the channel. You can also become a member to the channel for less than the cost of lunch. You can become a member for an entire month. Got 3 different levels of membership. Shout out to all the members in the building, including our very own Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Been a member for 8 months now. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for becoming a member. You can also tap that Cash App, $EmpireJeff. There's Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Hey, everybody, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you as well, my guy. Craig, what's going on, Craig? Appreciate you. Roy, what's going on, Roy? Good to have you back, sir. Craig says, Muncy is the heir apparent. Yeah, the Muncy situation is tough. You know what? I went into this season having to really now reshape my thinking with this team. I didn't think they DFA Chris Taylor, even though it's come out to the point that it wasn't your traditional DFA. He asked for his outright release. They weren't sitting back. Okay, what are we going to do? We got to boot this guy. They sat back and they waited for him to come to them, and that's what happened. I still think if he didn't go to them, they wouldn't have DFA'd him. But the Austin Barnes one was still a little surprising to me too. Not for the lack of production, but because just how valuable he is to those other guys. But replacing them with guys who can produce is ideal and the right move. Austin Barnes did not ask for it. Chris Taylor did. They're both gone, right? So now we'll have to wait and see who fills in these roles now. Also, obviously, Dalton Rushing comes in. There's someone else that goes. So the Max Muncy situation, I don't believe Max Muncy is going to be a guy that asks to be DFA'd. I don't think that's going to happen. And when we're sitting here talking early in the season about his bat not heating up, I think the biggest concern for Max Muncy right now is going to be the glove. It's going to be the glove. If he can't get that right, the Dodgers may have no choice but to go in and make a move. And the name that continues to come up, because it wasn't always about the bat, and I continue to say this, but Nolan Arenado's glove is still filthy as can be. I've been telling you guys this for months. The St. Louis Cardinals are like the best defensive team in baseball. They've been playing great. I think they're number 2 in their division. They'd be in the playoffs if the season ended right now. They've been great. They've been great to the point where would they even move him at this point, right? But I still think they would eventually, and that's something that the Dodgers, who I've been told on numerous occasions, could make the deal right now if they wanted to. But the ball has been in their court. As I mentioned, it was kind of a two-way street with St. Louis and the Dodgers. The Dodgers had been going after Tommy Edman for the Cardinals for years. The Cardinals finally gave in. The Dodgers got him. The Cardinals have been trying to trade Arenado to the Dodgers for years now. Dodgers have not given in. Cardinals are waiting that out. So if the Dodgers blink on that, like the Cardinals blinked on Edman, then we could see Nolan Arenado in a Dodger uniform if Max Muncy continues to struggle with the glove at third base, even though his bat has been heating up. He's been clapping. He's been clapping pretty much for this month. He's been doing well. He's been hitting some bombs, had a walk-off sacrifice fly. Like he's had some hard hit baseballs. He's been much improved at the plate this month. However, that glove that glove is going to be a problem come playoff time if he's unable to field the hot corner. And the Dodgers have to take a serious look at that. I'm not out here campaigning for them to get rid of Max Muncy. I'm not saying get him out of here. I'm saying they got to figure this out one way or another, either with him or without him. They've got to figure it out. I'm hopeful that it's with him. You know, he's won with us. He's won 2 World Series with us. He's been cheated in the World Series with us, right? I would like nothing more than for Muncy to be productive and for them to win the World Series with Muncy as a member of this ball club. Would want nothing more than that. However, with that being said, if his glove cannot be trusted, then they got to do what they got to do. They got to do what they got to do. Like they did with Barnes, like they did with Chris Taylor. They may have to do with Muncy and maybe some other guys. So not campaigning for it, not even necessarily rooting for it. I'm rooting for Muncy to get right. I would love to win another one with him. But if he doesn't, he doesn't. And it just is what it is at that point. Roy says, no more glazing Muncy. It's been 2 years of horrible defense. Man, I don't think anyone's ever glazed Muncy. I don't know who would do that. But as far as I do like him on the team, but glazing, no. I mean, it's weird to say role player in baseball, but that's what he is. He's a role player in baseball. Scott just needs a couple of days of reset. You know, Tanner Scott just needs to get back to kind of where he was in Miami and San Diego when he was getting, he would pitch out of the zone. He didn't throw a lot of strikes. He would go after guys and get them to chase both, right? But Tanner Scott, the threat of that heat has guys swinging anyway. So when you go away a little bit and you don't throw everything for strikes where, the Dodgers and a bunch of teams in Major League Baseball are just becoming better and better and better at hitting strikes and waiting for their pitches. You got to have more swing and miss stuff. You got to have more chase pitches. And if he's able to do that and mix that in more, there's also the contract he's trying to live up to. He's living up to the contract. He's here on the Dodgers. He's got to figure it out. There's too much talent and too much of a sample size for me to believe that he will not figure it out. I will have to see an entire year of him struggling for me to label him Kimbrel like a lot of Dodger fans have. He is so much better than Kimbrel. He's got so much better just stuff. He's a better player. And it's been too much of a sample size to simply think that he's not going to figure it out and the Dodgers won't figure it out. I believe they will. I believe he will. And I believe that he will be a key piece standing on the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers in October. I truly, truly believe that. I feel that whatever they're going through right now, they will sort out. And it's just a matter of time, really, for me. He's too good. He's just way, way, way too good. Pacers, Thunders finals. Man, yeah, I don't want to say I don't care, but I don't care. I'm an NBA fan. Of course I care, but I'm having an NBA video coming soon. I barely had time for baseball, barely had time for anything the last 2 weeks, but I'm gonna keep it baseball tonight. I'll talk about basketball soon when I do a basketball video. Probably good. What's going on? Shando? Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Small bowl. They talking to each other. My mom about business. Search. What's up, my brother? Search. The mod god, the god of mods, the mod father, the best in the business. Hope you're doing well, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. As long as Knicks get knocked out, then it's a good offseason. I'm ready to move off LeBron. Knicks probably getting knocked out. LeBron probably ain't going nowhere. Probably not. Probably not. Let's see. Send Scott back to SD. No, man. We don't want him we don't want him on another team because Ohtani can't hit him. Ohtani cannot hit Tanner Scott. Cannot. So at the very least, we got the guy that Ohtani can't hit. Martin should have swept the Madres. Yeah, that was an interesting series, man. They had a 6-0 lead, blew that, lost 8-6, then come back and they beat them 10-8. They had a lead in the first game, I think 3-0. It's just been that was a crazy series. Padres easily could have been swept in that series. Padres also could have easily swept that series. It's just a really weird way how that played out. Very similar to the Mets and Dodgers. Crazy series. But yeah, they could have been swept. They could have swept. Same thing with the Dodgers. Dodgers should have swept this series. Dodgers could have swept the Mets series. Just didn't work out that way. That's baseball. Baseball happens. You're going to have times where this should happen. This should have happened. This could have happened. Someone should have done this. Someone should have done that. But at the end of the day, it's baseball. The baseball itself, baseball will find heartbreak. Baseball will find imperfection, no matter how prepared you are no matter how much you study the game, no matter how much of anything. Again, I say this all the time. I will continue to say this. Like, there's not a single person here on the internet that knows more about these guys, right? And they still can't figure it fully out. So it's baseball. That's why I love it so much. There's nothing perfect about it other than the fact that it's imperfect, and it's what makes it so special. But what happened, in today's game is something that happens across Major League Baseball every single day. A bad pitch, a bad target, an error, an untimely walk, a balk, like any of these things that could happen in a baseball game that opens a rally. That's why, can you guys remember ever in your life as a baseball fan, as many 2-out, 2-strike rallies that you've seen in the last couple of years? Like, because guys are throwing strikes. They're going after, trying to punch them out. When you get into deep counts, you got a 3-2 count. You got to throw a pitch in the zone to get them to chase. There's so many different things that are leading to these types of outputs. And the Dodgers are one of the top teams in the league when it comes to that. 2 outs, 2-strike, 2-out hits, rallies, late rallies. It's what a lot of teams do. And so it's really hard to keep a team down these days. Even when you have a 3-4 run lead, it's very hard. Now, the Miami Marlins are not a very good baseball team. Everyone knows that. One of the worst in the league. But even the worst team in the league holding a 6-run lead should be manageable. And it wasn't. The Dodgers have done that before. The Dodgers, I think people forget, the Marlins did the opposite to the Dodgers, right? The Dodgers had a 5 or 6-0 lead on the Marlins. Did I say Mariners or am I tripping? On the Marlins earlier in the season, and they came back, hit a grand slam, and took the lead even. And the Dodgers had to come back and walk that game off. So these things happen. The Dodgers have lost to the Nationals, right? Twice. The Dodgers have lost to bad teams. They lost to the Marlins in Miami. They struggled even at times at Colorado at home and Miami at home. It's the way it goes. And today stung. I would have loved that sweep. I would have loved coming home 4-2. Really wanted to come home 5-1. Didn't happen. On the 10-game roadie, I wanted to come home 7-3. Didn't happen. We came home 6-4. So anytime you go on a roadie and you come back 500 or better, you can live with that. The Dodgers, being who they are, I expect a little more from them. They should have came home on this roadie 4-2. They should have came home on that last one at least 7-3. In my opinion, they underachieved on both road trips. But that being said, they have had guys out, right? They have had guys out. Ohtani was out to start the 10-game roadie with the maternity leave. You had Teo out. You had Edman out. You've had guys out, okay? In this one, they pretty much had all of their guys at the plate. But the lack of arms, the overusage of the pen, the over-leverage of the pen, it's catching up. And when that happens, you get burned from time to time. Tanner Scott, I believe, will figure it out. Vesia, as much as he drives us nuts, gets in jams, gets out of jams. Those are going to be the guys I don't think I'm going to worry about too much. Banda, I worry about a lot this year. Last year, he came out. This year looks like pre-24 Banda. Again, he's not out there doing great. But you got guys like, for every kind of like thing we can point at and think that's not going well for this Dodger team, and you look at someone like a Kasperius. You look what this guy said. You look what Landon Knack did in his last start. You look at what these guys are capable of doing and what they're capable of giving you, even without 4 very, very good pitchers in your rotation, several aces on your IL. And they're still out here in first place. They're still out here. Could have swept this year. Cleveland is no slouch. Cleveland is a good baseball team. Cleveland had walk-offs in the playoffs. Cleveland had comeback walk-offs in the playoffs. Cleveland is a very potent offensive team when they get it going. And they got it going in the 7th and 8th inning against the Dodgers and got the win as a result of it. But that's what makes baseball baseball. And it is it's why I love it so much, to be honest. Mets are not that good. We gifted them wins. We definitely did gift them wins, but we've been gifted wins as well. But definitely gifted them wins. We let them back in the game in that Friday night game when Tanner Scott blew that lead, and then let them off the hook when we had bases loaded with nobody out in the 10th, and then got away when they did the same thing. That Friday night game was bonkers. It was ridiculous. Amount of arms that they had to use in that game. We knew that was going to punish them later in the series, and it did. And so that kind of cost them. But now I like, they're coming in. They had an early game today. You have an off day tomorrow, and then kind of rotation is going to reset there. So Yamamoto against the Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball. I love that. I'm going to be at that game on Sunday. I'm going to be at the game on Saturday. So let me know if anyone's going to be at Dodger Stadium this weekend against the Yankees. I have not bought tickets for Friday, and I don't think I'm going to be able to. I really wanted to go to all three. Going to be real tough to pull that off. I may look to go to one or two of the Mets games in lieu of all three of the Yankee games. So let me know if any are going to be at Dodger Stadium for the Dodgers versus Yankees games. OKC made it. Yeah, they did, man. OKC is crazy. OKC was a team that I said I could see them not even making the Western Conference Finals. And they technically almost didn't, right? They could have been beaten. Matter of fact, I feel that if Denver was fully healthy, they would have beaten them. But that's the game. Every year, some team benefits from injuries. Denver has benefited from injuries. They lost essentially because of injuries this series, right? The last series. But OKC, once they made it out that second round, I didn't think Minnesota had a chance against them. And that just further frustrates it. Like, man, if the Lakers had any of their things together, if they had a big, if Luka was in any type of shape and if LeBron didn't hurt his groin, the Lakers could be absolutely contending for a championship this season. They could have. And the only reason I'm going to do a basketball video on it. The only reason I say that is because of the competitive balance, because of these teams that are out there. Lakers definitely could have competed. They just didn't have what they needed to in the end, which sucks. Let's see. Greg says, New York is our next mission. Yeah. Craig says Kershaw went 5. Good second start. Yeah, Kershaw's been solid, man. Kershaw's been doing what we've needed from him. We're not going to be expecting too much from him. But what he did in the Mets game, albeit in a rainout, only 2 innings, and what he did today, he's had some pretty decent starts. That curve when he gets out there and strikes someone out, there's still something very therapeutically pleasing about Clayton Kershaw just mowing down someone with a curveball, man. It's just something poetic. There's just something, it just does something to us, right? It's just something, even for those who hate Kershaw and want him gone and don't respect what he's done for the organization, or just Johnny come latelys and what have you done for me lately? And, when they're the couch GMs, when they want them gone, like when you still see that, like it's still special, man. It still rings out, man. And I still thoroughly enjoy seeing Kershaw have performances like that and do things like that. Joseph, what's going on, Joe? Sweep the Yankees this weekend and all is forgiven. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to sweep the Yankees. Yankees, even with everything they've gone through, they're a good baseball team. And they're coming off sweeping the Angels if they won tonight. I didn't look at the score. But Aaron Judge is having a absolute monster season. It's going to be, I think, Landon Knack versus Max Fried in one of those games. So that's going to be tough. They're going to have to tag up Max Fried. I think they got a Yardborough, I think, in that series, old friend Yardborough. And it's going to be tough to sweep them. But can they do it? Sure, of course. But it's no easy ask, no easy task. What's going on, Chris? Appreciate you, brother. Hope you were doing well. Chris, the art director, my brother Chris in the building, man. Thank you for tuning in. Max says, Max says, hello, that was just a BS PR report to make Taylor feel better. He was worse than Barnes. I mean, I'm not going to call it a BS report when I heard it out of Doc Roberts' own mouth, right? And hearing Chris Taylor say it as well. So he probably did want to play. And I also don't think the Dodgers would have DFA'd him unless they knew he had a backup plan. So I think at some point, here's how I think it went down. I don't know. This happens like in the NBA all the time. It happens in baseball too. What I think happened here was Chris Taylor did indeed approach them about playing time, or more opportunity. Like, hey, just give me a chance. Let's see what I can do. Give me a couple weeks. Let me see what I can do. The Dodgers more than likely shut that down respectively, right? And he then probably asked, can I look elsewhere, right? Can I have my agent? Do I have permission to look elsewhere? Which can happen. That does happen. And so I think he knew that he had a spot on the Angels. He gets to stay in LA, Anaheim. He gets to stay in his house where he lives currently. He doesn't have to change anything other than where he goes to play home games. And I do believe that is what happened. And I don't believe the Dodgers would have DFA'd him until after July to get his service time, unless they knew he was going somewhere else. That's just what I believe. Everyone else is entitled to believe what they believe. But that wasn't just a report. We heard it out of Dodgers managers and front office mouths. So I do believe that that's what happened. And you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm just going with what the people who are actually in the locker room said. I'm not in there. You're not in there. I'm just going with what those who are really in there and know what happened said. That's just where I'm at with it. What a dud game today. Yeah, tough L. But again, it be that way, man. It be that way in baseball. What's going on, Aaron? Appreciate you, man. You said, what is this XP stuff? Let's see. People talking to each other. Let me mind my business here to encourage participation. What are you talking about? Let's see. Who's at Dodger Stadium this weekend? Let's see. I feel like the Dodgers are just coasting at this point. Yeah, Bridges, I think that they're kind of perfectly fine and more than content with being where they are. Having guys rested, not overusing guys, wearing them down that are on the IL, making sure they're good. Still maintaining first place and still within reach of the best record in baseball. I think they're in a very good place with that. I don't think they're over worried about it. They're going to do what they got to do to have a healthy team come October. Considering what happened, last season with 2.5 starters in the rotation. Of course, everyone there on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, man, I want to go Friday. I just don't know if I can pull off 3 straight on my schedule. It's going to be really tough. I'm going to have to find a way to go Saturday then. I'll know later on Friday. Shando says, I haven't watched any b-ball like that since the semifinals. If Halloween wins, I'd be happy just because of the story, but I don't care, to be honest. I mean, I care. I'm an NBA fan. Of course I care. I just talk trash. You know what? If I had a chance to say who I would prefer to win, I really don't care. My team's not in it. I spent some decent time in OKC. I have family members that live there. I've been out there to watch the Dodgers minor league team. They didn't get one with Russ and Durant and Harden and others after that. So I wouldn't mind seeing OKC get one. I wouldn't mind letting that fan base get one. Seeing that fan base get one. Wouldn't mind it. Having said that, Indiana as well has been a very, very it's a basketball state, very supportive fan base. Rick Carlisle again has a chance to win another NBA championship. So I really don't care which one wins. I just hope to see a good finals. And if I could pick between the two, I would say go get it, OKC, man. But I'm not about to be out here pom-pomming like some of you LA Timberwolves fans last year, man. I ain't about to be doing that. I believe if healthy, we will peak at the right time. Absolutely. All 3 games are important. Absolutely. Yeah, it feels good to not feel the pressure and worry and panic, right? Yeah. I mean, when you don't have your team in it, obviously, unless you're just one of them, DraftKings boys, right? Who only judge games by the bets you're in, and blame the managers and blame everyone else and go ballistic because they lost you $40, right? Like the amount of people who are into the game simply because of the betting and the slander of players and their families simply because of bets is crazy in today's generation, for sure. Nando, what's up, my guy? Muncy going to have more errors than home runs this year. Ouch, 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 ouch. I don't know if I agree with that, but damn. Dodgers were smart not putting Kershaw against the Yankees. He would have got lit. Yeah, I see what they did there. But again, the Guardians can score runs. They can score runs, and it was at home. But yeah, I kind of agree with you there. This the real Roberts managing. His talent isn't 100. He doesn't have 5 elite starters. Yeah, and they're still bashing him. I did a couple posts taking up for Dave. Look, I can't sit up here and say that I have never had frustrations with Dave Roberts. I can't get up here and say that 2022 I wasn't sitting here done with him. Right? I can't sit here that in 2019 I wasn't frustrated with him. I can't say that. But sometimes it takes a manager time to grow. And sometimes it takes a manager some time to find his way within an organization. And sometimes it takes time to get that team, right? And sometimes it really also is about, people think that managing a talented roster is easier than managing like a no pressure roster. And I disagree with that. Going out there with nothing, no talent, no pressure, getting up here and managing megastars. And let me tell you this about Dave Roberts. You have never heard a player say anything bad about him. You've never heard a player complain about him. So what I say about this every single day, it does not matter what us on our couches think about Dave Roberts, when first ballot Hall of Famers all love him. They all love him. Pitchers, relievers, backup catchers. Everybody loves Dave Roberts in that clubhouse. Everybody loves him. You don't have any players coming out bashing him. The chemistry is grade A. The collectiveness of that is grade A. The culture, everything over there is exactly what you want in a ball club. Dave Roberts sets that tone, and the way he managed last postseason, the way he's managed this season, has he not? Has he had hiccups this year? Of course. It's a 162 game season. He's going to guess wrong. He's going to put the wrong guy in. But the thing I always tell you guys is, I had someone tell me one time. He goes, it's very easy to second guess a move after it's made, but you don't know everything that's going on in that dugout. You don't know everything that's going on in people's lives. You don't know everything. Like I heard this story about one time about a guy who was going through a divorce, right? And the guy basically told you, my head is not right. You cannot put me out there. You cannot put me out there. I'm not prepared to go. The guy showed up to the game, looked like he hadn't slept in 3 or 4 days. I'm not going to say who it was. Hadn't slept in like 3 or 4 days. The team really needed him that game. The manager did not put him out there. The guy he put out there got rocked. The manager got lit up by the fans and the media, and the manager said nothing about the player. Didn't throw him under the bus. Didn't say something's going on. Absolutely nothing. He wore it. He wore it. And that manager was Dave Roberts. All right. And this is why his players love him. The decisions we think are right aren't necessarily wrong, but we don't know the conditions in which he is operating under. We don't know what happened. He was getting lit up. I want to say not the Sunday, but about a week and a half ago in that game where he didn't play Ha-Seong Kim. Ha-Seong Kim had a stomach bug. He had like one of those 24-hour bugs. And because it doesn't come out right away, and people just get too real comfortable filleting their managers like it's a PlayStation game and they can control the tempo and they can make decisions, right? There are things behind the scenes that happen that you will never know. Some you do, some you don't. And that's one thing about Dave. If he wants you to know, you're going to know it. If they don't want you to know, you're not going to know it. And we just have to rock with it. And in my mind, with last year's postseason, he's earned it. The Dodgers organization has earned it. Even if they fail this year, they've earned it. All right? They've earned it. So I'm not going to be one of those guys that's fair weather and turns my back on my team or players just because we don't win a game or win a series. That's just weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, we're passionate. We get excited. We speak on it. We speak our opinions. But at the end of the day, the people who just rip everyone every time after a loss, man, it's just sad, man. It's a bad look. It makes Dodger fans look real bad. Like, honestly, I think a fan that gives up on their team whenever things go bad is worse than a drunk fan doing stupid stuff in a stadium. To me, because that drunk fan is probably a one-time occurrence. That fair weather fan that gives up on the team whenever something goes wrong is a repeat occurrence. They don't get banned. They don't get kicked out of stadiums. They should. They should. But I agree with you, Alfonso. That was a really long take after your take, but I appreciate you, man. Shana said, Jeff, you're not winning with that lineup of Luka, Reeves, Braun, Rui, Hayes, DFS, almost no defense, lack of athletes. Maybe not winning at all, but I'm telling you, if we've seen what Luka's done when healthy. When Luka's healthy and in somewhat shape, he can get a team damn near to the finals by himself. And I don't care what no one says. Braun was playing at an MVP level before that groin got hurt. No doubt about it. So, yeah, they definitely could have got to the finals if Braun and Luka were healthy. No doubt about that in my mind, because there's no one in the West that was all that. Like, there was no one that was all that. Like, OKC's going to win a championship. And you can't tell me a single team that this team would have beat from 2000 through 2020. Maybe the 2011 Mavs. Outside of that, who they beating? Like, this team is not a typical champion or number one seed. No. More basketball later. Kershaw was special like 10 years ago. Kershaw was special, right? And that's why, like I say, keep him around as long as he did, because this guy gave us relevancy when we weren't relevant, point blank, period. And he had good games last year, right? He had good games the year before that. It's just high leverage, high pressure playoff situations. You got to be careful with him at this point of his career. Some of us don't want to see our icons playing like Shaq in Boston. No, I hear you, but the thing about being an icon is we don't decide their fate. They do, right? And the icon, we can choose whether or not to see the icon, right? The icon gets to do whatever they want. Point blank, period. They've earned it. And if they want to get out there and do their thing, Shaq in Boston was weird. I didn't love it, but he earned the right. He earned the right for sure. Yeah, here you. Lakers Dodgers for life. What's good, my brother? Appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back, Jeff. Been a minute. Good to have you back. Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in as always. Hope you and the family are doing well. Yeah, man, I've been gone for like 2 weeks from lives. I've been posting. I want to say I think I posted every day since then. I've been trying to stay active with content, but haven't really been able to live stream. Just haven't had an hour of time, hour and a half of time. Just haven't had it. Had some time tonight. So I took advantage of that for sure. Aaron says Chris Taylor got his first hit as a Halo tonight. Good for him. Good for him. I'm rooting for him, man. I'm rooting for him for sure. Yeah, they still got swept. I know they lost the first 2 games, but I didn't see tonight's game, so appreciate that. Serge, appreciate you once again for being a member for 6 months. Appreciate you, man. Lucky, speaking of Lucky, man, Lucky had himself a birthday on Monday, man. Let me tell you. This boy, my wife, this dog had way too much activity for a dog for their birthday. Birthday weekend, let me tell you. I had to work a lot, so my wife was just going crazy, like with the dog. Like Lucky had himself. He's still laid out. Lucky is still recovering from the weekend. Lucky is still recovering. This boy had himself 3 days of. I'm not sure I don't know any of the dogs that had a 3-day run like Lucky just came off of. Let me tell you. I mean, Lucky just had the version of the Hangover movie for dogs. He just had an epic 3 days. Poor guy is knocked out, laid out. Shout out to Lucky, man. To my co-host, my best friend, my little homie, man. My doggy dog, Luck Doggy Dog over here, man. Make sure to follow Lucky on IG. Luck Doggy Dog. Make sure to follow, man. That's my guy over here. He laid out tired. He's snoring, yo. Snoring. That's how tired this boy is. Bridget said, exactly. I think they're just trying to make sure they're healthy for the playoffs. And I think that's smart. I think that's smart because, they got themselves in a lot of heat last year for not, kind of getting across the finish line with healthy enough bodies. And they still won it, which makes it that much more impressive, which makes it that much more incredible. The fact that they went in there and got those wins and won that title with what they had to deal with is just absolutely incredible to me. Shout out to everyone over on Twitter X too, man. I see all over there, man. Make sure to drop a like, do a repost, join the conversation. Everyone over on YouTube as well. Appreciate y'all. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. Haven't been really, like I said, too active on YouTube as far as live or Twitter as live as late. So I expected to get punished for that in these YouTube streets. So it's really hard for me, man, to get on any type of real rhythm or run. It's really hard. My schedule is so demanding. My career is so demanding, and it's really hard to carve out any type of routine. It's cool, but yet frustrating at the same time. Roy says, there is no dominant team in the MLB with all the issues Dodgers have. No way we belong on top. It goes to show the Dodgers get healthy. Watch out. Yeah, Roy, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, no one's going to be able to see them once all their arms are back, the bats are in tune. And look, 7 of the 8 Dodger hitters are fine. And this is what's driving me nuts about some of the Dodger fans. Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, Will, Teo, Edmund, Pages. I mean, so Conforto and Muncy hurting, for the most of the season hasn't killed us because those other, 7 guys, once Pages got going, they've been holding it down. Show me a team in the league where all 9 guys are holding it down at the plate. You won't find one because there isn't one. The problem is if the guys that aren't holding it down at the plate, they got to hold it down with the glove. And that's what makes me worried about Muncy. Now, Conforto can field, so he doesn't really kill us. Is he a Gold Glover? No, but he's a better defender than Teo. He can read the ball better than Pages for the most part. Pages does make leaps and bounds this year, though. He's getting better and better, I feel like, by the week. So there was a point where I was just absolutely no way, shape, or form would consider ever having him in center field. he may actually get there. Now, I don't think it's wise. I still think he's a corner outfielder by nature, especially with the arm. But I'm proud of his development in the outfield. Very proud. And his bat, we always knew was going to come alive. So when you put it into context, there's really only two guys not hitting in the lineup. And you can get away with that. But the problem is, if they're not fielding, usually you have a low average catcher who does a lot of work behind the plate, but he bats, ninth for you, but he's the guy that just does so much work behind the plate. He's so valuable defensively. You can get away with that. Or you got like another guy that's just a stud at defense, just gold glove talent, electric out there with the glove, and struggles with hitting, got an occasional pop. And then you can kind of live with that. But when you're not hitting and you're a liability with the glove, that is when you find yourself in danger of potentially losing your spot. So Conforto, they're going to ride this out, probably 200 at bats before they start looking at themselves like, damn, we probably got to do something here. I'm sure they've talked about it. But again, as I mentioned with Tanner Scott, there's been enough of a sample size here with Conforto to know and hope that he's going to be able to come out of this. Maybe he never does. I still think there's more than a 50-50 chance that he does. But if he doesn't, I'm sure the Dodgers will have a plan for that. But I still think it's 175, 200 at bats before they really start going serious over that. Be wrong in May, not October. Absolutely. Dave Roberts makes decisions with his heart and not his head. In playoffs last year, he went with his head. When a player is struggling, Dave Roberts tries to make the player successful, even if he's wrong. I don't necessarily agree with that, for the simple fact of how many times Dave sticking with that approach has paid off. Look what it did with Walker Buehler. If we didn't have that, we don't win. Several relievers he's turned around, that him and that pitching staff has turned around. I think Dave is a player's manager, and he's managing now to hopefully have guys prepared for later in the season. So when you say he managed with his head in October, it's because he was trying to get those guys to that level in April, May, and June. So I disagree. I think I've seen several situations where he's managed with his head. I've seen several strategic moves, fifth infielder, pointing outfielders where to go, timely base running, bunting the ball, sacrifice flies, I mean, pinch hitting and timely manner. I've seen several times this year where Dave Roberts has made the correct headly baseball play. And I've actually seen less managing with his heart this year. I think Dave is done a phenomenal job this year. And I understand there's a lot of people who spent years bashing Dave Roberts, and they're too scared to walk that back. They're too prideful to walk that back. So they're just kind of looming, waiting for something to go wrong with Roberts so they can pounce on him again. And to me, I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I just want the Dodgers to win. And my thing is, some people want Dave Roberts to fail just so they can be right. And to me, that's like, they almost would hope the team loses just so they could be right. And that's just weirdo activity to me. That's just odd to me. Shadow says that still odd with Luka thing. Some people say Mavs gave him up for a reason. Nico doesn't look so crazy. Shandel, man, you got to realize, man, the click culture, the hot take, and all that stuff. No, Nico, what they did in Dallas was stupid. Ask Dallas fans. All right, ask Dallas fans how happy they are. They got Cooper Flag, I get it, but no, no. He just watch Luka for the next 10 years. Just watch. 10 out of 10, he got that wrong. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But people got to sell clicks. People got to have hot takes. People got to get attention. People need stimulation. People need it. But 10 times out of 10, any team that Nico called is making that trade. 10 times out of 10. Point blank, period. Let's see. This is by CP. Let's see. Cheaping. Why am I getting spammed on Twitch? What's going on here? I judge Dave on X's and O's. Like you said, players love him, but I also think players get too comfortable playing for him. It's a good point. To the point where players underperform at times with no consequences. Maybe I'm old school and grew up with coaches like Tommy. Me personally, never liked his coaching style, but who cares what I think? No, we care what you think. Everyone has an opinion. And I'm not talking about, like, you're not one of those people that hope the Dodgers lose so you could be right. You're not that. Like, to you, you'd be like, I don't let Dave suck and the Dodgers win a World Series. I don't care, right? So you're not that. No, none of you guys in here are that. I'm saying there are people that are like that, right? And so for me, I think consequences is the strong word here. It's a different game now, man. It's a different. You don't have to hit for 300. If you hit 230 but get 15, 20 bombs, that's considered successful in today's MLB, right? So it's a different type of mentality that we have to adjust to. So I've been, grown up through many eras of sport, and I tend to adjust to it. I'm not the in my day guy, right? Because obviously I watch and cover the game now. I like where the game is now, baseball wise. I really, really do. But Dave Roberts, I don't look at anything he's done since like even the 2023 season. He was phenomenal. They just didn't have the players equipped enough to win the playoffs in 2023. It was a punt year. They didn't know or anticipate Ohtani picking up signing a 1-year extension with the Angels. They had no idea that was coming. They didn't plan for that. So they punted the year in 2023. Still won the division, still got to the playoffs, lost in a short series, swept in a short series. But they weren't that good of a team at that point. They didn't have the players that they had in 2024 and 2025, or even 2022, 2021, 2020. So like that Dodger team in 2023, I thought he managed phenomenally, right? 2022, from there on, I felt that he has been solid. 2023, 2024, and now here of 2025. Now, I understand that he's not going to be perfect, no manager is, but what I'm saying is what he's done with this team, how he's managed this team, and how his players believe in him and how they fight for him. And it's part of the reasons why players also take deferrals on their contracts, is to come play for this culture, come play for Doc Roberts, and play for a World Series and play for a championship. The Dodgers are not the only team in town to go take deferred money and play for a championship on. They're not. They want to be part of this culture. Dave Roberts is the culture here. He is. And so when people say what he did in the playoffs as if he didn't do those things in 2024 or 2023, that's not true. It's not true. I've seen plenty of games where he's done things, but that doesn't get pointed out. He only gets bashed when something goes wrong. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the part of it I don't agree with. Let's see. Let me see what just happened. Oh, Joe says, Dave Roberts has been fine since the playoffs. You said my homie thinks Luka could have been out partying the day, but they've got 3. I don't know about that, man. No, I mean, there's way too many cell phones and everything that definitely would have been caught if that's the case. So I don't know about that. Let's see. Shando says, I'm not a Transtant fan, but not gonna lie, the Wolves were acting like beating the Lakers was a championship. Ant was in the street yelling Wolves and 5 with a smuggler. Bro loves being the villain. That's his character, and I'm fine with it. My thing is everyone that was rooting, like, bent over backwards to get that LA Timberwolves tramp stamp on their back last year, just because they were so thirsty for Denver to lose. Like, that was going to resurrect the Lakers from the dead. You know what I mean? Now that team came back and beat us. That's karma on all the tramp stamp folk. That's karma on all y'all. That's karma on all y'all for out there on your knees for the LA Timberwolves, man. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. But yeah, man, Dodgers, day off tomorrow. Then they go back to Dodger Stadium Friday, Saturday, Sunday to face off the Yankees. As I said, I will be at least 2 of those games. Got pretty good tickets for both those games. I'm excited about it. Friday is 50-50. Probably not. Nah, it's probably 60-40. No, unless something crazy happens, and I may try to go to a Mets game too. But Saturday, I got invited with some people, so I'm definitely going to enjoy that one and live that one up. And Sunday, Saturday, I'm actually taking my wife too. That's going to be fun. She doesn't go to all the games with me. So Sunday, I don't know who I'm going with yet. But I'm going. And then Sunday Night Baseball, Yamamoto. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait. I'm excited. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for tonight. I appreciate y'all. It's been a while, 2 weeks since I've been back. Fun to get the show on tonight. Got to get back to handling some business, so I got to get out of here. So appreciate y'all. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Make sure to drop a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And make sure to follow all the socials, EmpireJeff TV everywhere. Twitter X, IG, obviously here on YouTube, and as well on TikTok. Make sure to pull up on my TikTok, man. Get it popping over there. Pull up over there. Pull up to the TikTok, man. Love y'all. Stay safe. Dodgers off day tomorrow. May or may not get a video in tomorrow, but we'll look to get some things done this weekend at the stadium. And so make sure to follow on the socials because I'll be going live up there, especially when I get up there early. So y'all stay safe. Catch you on the next one. As always, go Dodgers. I'm out of here, y'all. Search. You're the best in the business. Love you, brother. Appreciate you. Peace, y'all.